Hey there, new Rocket League player. In this video, I want to introduce you to the world of Rocket League. I'll cover a bunch of different important things, starting with the way that you should set up your game, including your controls, your camera settings, and your graphical options. Then we'll move on to the different game modes available in Rocket League. Also, the two main categories of game modes, ranked and unranked, and why you should play both of them. And then lastly, I'll talk about the different training methods that you can use, both in-game and out-of-game resources, that'll really help you improve your game. The first thing you want to do is to change your controls and camera settings from the default settings. There's a ton of variation out there on these, and each player has their own preferences, but I recommend just choosing one professional player and just copying their settings. I personally chose Squishy Muffins because he's the pro player I watch the most, and you can find his controls and camera settings here on screen. If you want to search for other pros and their settings, you can use this website. The link will be in the description. Graphical settings is another one that many serious players change. I actually didn't change this one for the first 1000 hours or so of playtime, but I eventually noticed that pros used different settings from mine, and I decided to copy them as well. Again, I just copied Squishy settings, but I think basically everybody uses the same settings here, and it doesn't really matter who you copy. Next up, I just want to quickly introduce all of the game modes. So first up, the undisputed main game mode in Rocket League, the mode that all of the professional players play in the big tournaments, is regular 3v3s. This is the mode that you'll want to aim to get good at if you ever want to get serious about Rocket League. Okay, so the 11 game modes in Rocket League are the 4 unranked game modes, 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. 4 ranked game modes, which are 1s, 2s, and 3s. You'll notice that 4v4s is not here, and that's because it's not really a popular game mode at all. It's aptly named Chaos in the menus, and this is because playing it is an incredibly chaotic experience, and therefore almost nobody plays it. I actually tried to get into a game for this video, and I ended up just sitting there for 20 minutes while my game searched for a server. I think usually, if a party does have more than 3 players in it, most people will just go into a private lobby and play 2s or 3s with rotating teams. And then finally there are the 4 extra ranked game modes, which are Rumble, Hoops, Drop Shot, and Snow Day. I've put a little description on screen of all of these modes. As far as I know, the vast majority of players really only play ranked and unranked 2s and 3s. The rest are more fringe game modes that, whilst some people do play them very often, even as their main game mode, most people rarely play them. I personally really love Hoops and Drop Shot. I think that they're massively underrated, and actually, in my opinion, playing them can really help players improve certain extremely important skills that can help them in the main game modes. So I highly recommend playing these at least a little bit to see what they're all about. So then there's ranked and unranked, as I mentioned earlier. I highly recommend that new players jump into ranked as soon as possible. And as soon as possible would be once you hit level 10 on your account. I think it's really important to get into ranked as soon as possible because you can get a sense of your progress as you gain new skills and spend more time in the game. I personally made the mistake of not playing ranked until quite late in my playtime. I think I was at about 500 hours before I started playing ranked at all, and I think this was a mistake. It meant that I skipped the earlier ranks from bronze to, I think about plat was my first ever rank. And I really regretted this because I didn't get an idea of how much I was progressing this whole time. So jump into ranked as soon as you can and just play it regularly, maybe weekly or even daily if you're playing a lot. I highly recommend just playing it as much as you can to get an idea of your progress. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about the training methods and how to gain new skills and new techniques in Rocket League. So there's two different types of training methods. I want to separate them into two categories anyway, which are in-game training methods and out-of-game online training methods. The first big one is free play. So you'll hear a lot of people talking about free play, in particular a technique where you chase the ball around the pitch as fast as possible, hitting it as early as possible and as hard as possible. This is a really good training method. I highly recommend. Here's a really good video about that and the link's in the description. Next one's custom training. This is where people make custom training scenarios that will teach you certain skills. It's really great and there's so much content out there for you to enjoy and get a lot out of, so I highly recommend checking that out. And then there's the workshop, which I haven't explored a lot myself, but it has some really good and really popular dribbling obstacle courses, which you can use to improve your dribbling, and I have used quite a lot, and it's made a huge difference. Okay, next is the out-of-game training methods or tutorials and things like that. So that's YouTube content in particular, I think is the most popular source, where people make tutorials and informative videos like this one, talking about the game and teaching you techniques and just explaining maybe some beginner as well as some more advanced methods and ideas in the game. So there's so much content here. Here's some good ones on screen and all the links are in the description as well. Okay, there's my really quick introduction to Rocket League. If you have any questions or anything, please put them in the comments below. If you found this video helpful at all, please like it and subscribe for more content like this, as well as Rocket League tutorials for beginners and more advanced players. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.